Fellow countrymen, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, I am very pleased and honored to have been requested to be the guest of honor at this important event to mark the commemoration of the 2020 AIDS Day and launch of the annual campaign. This commemoration serves as both a national and global platform for the community of nations to remember those that have died due to AIDS and reflect on the progress we have recorded in 2020 in responding to the pandemic, as well as rededicate ourselves to revitalizing the response and change its trajectory towards ending AIDS by 2030. We are commemorating the World AIDS Day this year under unprecedented circumstances, which have been forced upon us by COVID-19 pandemic, whose impact has been far-reaching for humanity across the globe. Lives have been lost, ways of life have been altered, geographies, social and economic spaces have all been altered too. In addition to this, COVID-19 has been a major wake-up call for all health delivery systems. The pandemic caught us unaware, and we have had to learn as we go, including collaborating with regional and global partners in building systems and structures, as well as introducing necessary social and economic adjustments to tackle the pandemic. Our theme this year, which reads Global Solidarity, Shared Responsibility, is thus befitting of the circumstances we are in. We are all affected and therefore must stand together in addressing HIV and COVID-19 as well as various epidemics. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad that through concerted and coordinated efforts, Zimbabwe has so far managed to minimize the overall impact of COVID-19 when compared to the modeling projections. The scourge is not over, as some people may want to believe. This pandemic is real, and our people are urged to continue observing the education and guidelines that have been provided, including always wearing face masks in public areas, washing and sanitizing hands, maintaining social distance, and others. Just as we turned the tide on HIV, we shall be victorious against COVID-19. That, however, can only happen if we obey the guidelines. Although implementation of HIV interventions was heavily curtailed by COVID-19, essential clinical-based services such as provision of condoms, prevention of mother-child transmission, treatment of sexually transmitted infections, and others continued to be offered even during the lockdown. At the same time, provision of antiretroviral therapy was not affected and was buttressed with innovations such as month dispensing being strengthened. It is pleasing to note that despite the COVID-19 related setbacks, HIV interventions are regaining impetus and continue to impact people's lives. The majority of community-based interventions which promote demand and uptake of HIV prevention are back on track and being implemented under the new normal dictated by COVID-19. What is also pleasing is that most HIV programs implementers have taken advantage of their community presence and integrated COVID-19 in their programming, promoting prevention of both pandemics. The return of full implementation of HIV interventions is commendable as it ensures that we do not reverse the gains we have already achieved in HIV prevention and treatment. Though the intensification of HIV prevention interventions, Zimbabwe has over the years continued on trend of reducing new infections, which now stands at 40,000 compared to 47,000 in 2016. To ensure that this trend continues, the country shall prioritize interventions targeting sub-populations with higher incidence and prevalence, such as sex workers, prison inmates, adolescent girls and boys, young women and youth in general, and other key populations, as well as other groups like artisanal miners and mobile transporters whose occupational dynamics increase their risk to HIV. At the same time, focus will be intensified towards reducing mother-to-child transmission and public provision of prevention devices such as condoms following the temporary shortage during COVID-19 disruptions. Zimbabwe has also made commendable progress in initiating and returning HIV-positive people on treatment, which is very important in reducing deaths and improving HIV prevention outcomes. Due to other wider antiretroviral treatment coverage, Zimbabwe now has nearly 1.2 million people on ARVs, which has resulted in annual AIDS-related deaths declining to 20,000 in 2019 and 54,000 in 2010. Our efforts are now geared towards epidemic control, and in this regard, we are focusing on ensuring that the death rate among HIV-positive people should be less than or equal to the death rate in the general population, while also bringing new infections to equal or lower than the number of AIDS-related deaths. Fellow countrymen, we have almost come to the end of 2020, which is the target year for the 90-90-90 campaign, wherein 90% of HIV positive people should know their status. 90% of those HIV positive should be on treatment, and 90% of those on treatment should be viral suppressed. I am glad in this regard to report that among adults, our average is 90, 85, and 73, while among children is 71, 71 and 49. My ministry prioritizes scaling up of interventions, especially among children, and addressing any bottlenecks that have affected program performance. The progress have made in the response to HIV requires an enabling health delivery system that is anchored on a vision of health for all while prioritizing all diseases. My ministry has, in this regard, begun an ambitious restructuring strategy that is aimed at improving efficiency and effectiveness in the operations of the entire Ministry of Health and Child Care. Our people deserve better health services in line with international best practices. Our vision is therefore to modernize health care services at all levels and promote innovation based on researched evidence and lessons learned. Ladies and gentlemen, considerable financial investments to front-load interventions that work will be required. While we have shown commendable leadership through the global recognized best practice of the National AIDS Trust Fund, AIDS Levy, we have to identify other sustainable, innovative ways to tap into additional domestic and global resources to fully control both HIV and COVID-19, as well as deliver on our ambitious restructuring exercise. Comrades and friends, let me assure you all of my ministry's commitment to the response to HIV and ending AIDS by 2030. We shall continue to play our part to improve health system, including advocating or allocating of foreign currency to procure drugs. In conclusion, I would like to register my ministry and government's gratitude to our donors and partners who have continued to support our response in an endeavor to shifting priorities and international financial challenges due to COVID-19. Despite an array of challenges, I would like to thank the National AIDS Council, implementing organizations and communities for their hard work in 2020. Your contributions and participation have continued to make our response to HIV robust and successful. I thank you. May God bless Zimbabwe.